Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk travel insurance. In the last 20 years that I have been traveling, I've not always bought travel insurance, but I've changed my mind in the last 10 years or so. Now I always buy travel insurance. So let's talk about why it's so important to have travel insurance. So number one, why purchase travel insurance? Because you've invested a lot of time and a lot of money into planning your trip. And if something happens during that trip, it would be good to recoup some of the cost. So that's one of the main reasons why it's important to purchase travel insurance. Number two, what does travel insurance cover? Well, it can cover travel emergencies, flight delays, canceled flights, lost luggage, medical expenses, hotels, and missed tours, and I'm sure a lot more that I haven't thought of. You want to make sure that you read your policy carefully to see what it does cover before your trip and before you purchase it. So number three, what's the third reason why it's important to get travel insurance? Well, in the last 9 years, I have had to file three different claims. The first claim was in 2016. I had an EF tour to Greece where I was a former teacher and school counselor, and I took students on trips. So this tour was to Greece with EF tours. The day before we were supposed to travel, I got a phone call that said my brother was very sick and didn't expect to recover. In fact, he died a couple of days later. And so I had to scramble to find another teacher who had been on trips with me before to take my place, to take my students, and I had to cancel that flight and that trip at the last moment. And I didn't have a large expense in that because I had a discounted trip, but I did receive all my money back. It was around $1,000, maybe a little less. I did get all that money back in like a month. In June 2023, I took my grandson and we went to London, Paris, Rome, and had a little stop in Edinburgh, Scotland also. So on that trip, we had a canceled flight. We had to get another flight, a brand new flight at the last minute. We had an extra night in Paris, and we lost a night in Rome, and we also lost our tour of the Colosseum. So all of those things cost over $2,000. And we did get all the money back from Alliance Insurance. And it only took me about 2 weeks to get all of that back. The third thing that happened was in December of 2023, I went on a cruise with my dad. It was a celebration of his birthday, and we were really excited to go. It was a 10-day tour cruise through the Caribbean. And on the first full day, I fell in the breakfast buffet. Someone had dropped butter in the floor, and I stepped in it and fell and broke my foot. So I had to, of course, visit the infirmary, get x-rays to find out it was broken. Of course, there were lots of costs involved with that. The ship's doctor had advised me to catch the next flight out of St. Thomas, which was our next port, and to fly back home to see an orthopedic surgeon. So I had to cancel my cruise, obviously, book a last minute flight, which was really pricey, and I had a lot of onboard medical expenses. So I did go through AON, I think is how you say it, AON travel insurance. It did take a couple of months to get all of my money back, which was also well over $2,000. But we did get all of our money back, so it was definitely worth the money that I had spent for travel insurance. On all three of those instances, money varied, from I think it was less than $100 for the cruise insurance to close to $200 on the other insurance policies. But it was definitely worth the cost of that insurance to get that money back, which I got back on all three of those claims. So how do you file a claim? Well, you follow the instructions online from whichever travel insurance company you choose, and you need to make sure you follow the directions. You keep all of your receipts, your flight information. I even needed my boarding pass for my flight that I had to rebook in France. The hotel receipts, all kinds of tour information. I even needed a death certificate for when my brother passed away. So keep everything, is my advice. Keep all of your receipts for all of your trip, because you don't know if you're going to need to use it or not. And you do have to have all that information if you want to get all of your money back. So how do I find travel insurance? Well, a few years ago, I think I was watching another YouTube video and somebody recommended to me squaremouth.com. So that is the place that I use. So I go on there, and what I like about it is it gives you options for all kinds of different insurance companies. So you're not just having to look at each insurance company to see how much it's going to cost. It gives you all kinds of information. So you have to put in your name, your date of birth, where you're going, I think even where you're from. Or I'm in the US, so I had to put in that I was from Tennessee. And then it gives you all kinds of different policies and cost. And so you can compare policies on there to see what their coverage is. You can read reviews. Course, read the policy carefully before you choose. I just recently got travel insurance where I'm going in January to Vietnam and Thailand, and it was about $289 was the policy that I ended up getting. So as you get older, it does get a bit more expensive to get a policy, but it's still well worth the money, and I would not go on a trip without booking travel insurance now. So I would suggest that you check out squaremouth.com to look at different policies to see for your next trip. Do you have a favorite travel insurance company that you use? If so, would you put it in the comments below so we can share that information with everybody else? And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing so I can try to grow my channel, I would appreciate it, and I hope to see you soon.